Hi, everyone. Welcome to our February show of new releases. Joy is here with me, my coworker and co-host from the Worcester Public Library. Hi, Joy.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. I'm actually kind of enjoying the snow. It's kind of pretty.
Oh, don't even say that.
So
I know it's a little, but no amount of snow is actually
just
too
a little.
Yeah.
Okay, so since everything's new, I can't promise that it's going to be online, but there are records for everything in our online catalog. If you want to put a hold on the print version, you can do that. And then later on, we expect that it'll show up on Overdrive and Libby for free audio and ebook download because we try to pick good titles to recommend to you. So I'm going to switch screens so that you can see what we have in store for you this month for new titles. And as usual, I'll be focusing on the fiction and Joy will do the nonfiction. For my first choice, I have The Kindest Lie. This one already came out on February 2nd. It's the debut novel and a most anticipated book of 2021, according to Elle, Bustle, Parade, Pop Sugar, MSN, The Black Business Guide, and more. It's described as an eye-opening novel about the profound racial injustices and class inequalities in American society. And it's supposed to be perfect for fans of authors Tayari Jones and Jacqueline Woodson, and any of you out there who enjoyed Britt Bennett's The Vanishing Half. This book is set in 2008 when the inauguration of Barack Obama brings new hope. In Chicago at age 29, Ruth is married to a man who wants to start a family, but she's never gotten over the baby boy she gave up as a teen. She knows that to move forward, she has to face the past. Returning home for the first time in 4 years, Ruth discovers the factory town of her childhood is plagued by unemployment and racism. As she digs into the past, she befriends Midnight, an 11-year-old white boy looking for connection. But just as she is about to uncover a secret her family wants to keep hidden, an incident strains the town's racial tensions and sends Ruth and Midnight onto a collision course. This book got a starred review from Publishers Weekly and Book Page, and it was also well reviewed by author Jodi Picoult. The author I wanted to feature a quote from, though, is Caroline Levitt. She said, "Like a heat-seeking missile, this novel hones in on who we think we belong to and why, following the merging lives of Ruth, a Black female engineer who seeks out the child she gave away, and Midnight, a young white boy struggling to find his place in the poverty Ruth managed to escape." So obviously, racial and economic inequality is a really big topic right now. This book is already being a most anticipated book of the whole year. So if this sounds interesting to you, I think it's a safe bet to put a hold on. So you'll get a copy when one becomes available. Here's one from Joy.
My first choice for this week is 400 Souls, A Community History of African America, 1619 to 2019, edited by Ibram X. Kendi and Keisha N. Blaine. In compiling 400 Souls, acclaimed writers Kendi and Blaine have assembled a chorus of voices, 90 of them to be exact, each of whom takes on a 5-year period from 1619, when the first Africans, who were not yet slaves, arrived in the American colonies, to the Black Lives Matter movement of 2019. Contributors include up-and-coming poets, novelists, theologians, activists, economists, lawyers, and educators, among others. Each brief essay incorporates a unique combination of elements, including polemics, vignettes, biographical sketches, scholarly analyses, and poetry, in order to explore topics ranging from the well-known, like the Black Panther movement, to the relatively obscure. Though themes of resistance, reinvention, and hope course through this book, these pieces emerge from 90 different minds and reflect 90 different perspectives, showing the range of experiences and ideas that have always existed within the community of Blackness. Kirkus calls this book an impeccable, epic, essential vision of American history in general and a testament to the resilience of Black people.
Well, I have to say, as someone who has trouble reading history books, this sounds perfect for me because it's from different perspectives, different formats. And I think it's interesting that they're using people from today to write about it. So it almost makes it kind of a living history.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. All right, well, here's my next fiction book. All right, so this is John Hart. He's written a few books. This one just came out here on February 2nd. This one's being described as crime fiction at its absolute best. Gibby's brothers have been to war. One died there. The other came back to South Carolina from Vietnam after being dishonorably discharged, and he's had a recent stint in prison. Jason, now an ex-Marine, won't speak of the war or his prison time, but he wants a relationship with his younger brother. He coaxes Gibby into a day at the lake. Hours of sunshine, whiskey, and women. But the day changes when they encounter a prison bus on a stretch of road. Drunk, one of the women taunts the prisoners, leading to a riot on the bus. The woman is murdered soon after. Because of his history, suspicion turns to Jason. But when the second woman is kidnapped, the police suspect Gibby too, and Gibby is determined to clear his brother's name. This book got a starred review from Booklist, but it got a ton of rave reviews from really popular authors too. People like C.J. Box, Martin Greaney, Tammy Hogue, and John Sanford. So if you like any of them, this would probably be a good book for you to try. Booklist said, Hart keeps us engaged, subtly folding quiet, character-driven moments into the story while still powering the narrative toward an all-stops-out ending. Remember to breathe when you turn the last page. And I have been reading that the ending is very startling. So if you like surprise endings, you definitely want to get on the list. Here's one from Joy.
I do love surprise endings.
Me too.
My next choice is Small Time, The Story of My Family and the Mob by Russell Shorto. I'm willing to bet that when most of us think of the mob, and let's face it, organized crime fascinates many of us, we think of Chicago or New York or Las Vegas. Johnstown, Pennsylvania probably does not spring to mind. Small Time is the story of author Russell Shorto's search for his grandfather and namesake, delving into the world of the small town mob, an intricate web that spanned mid-century America and stitched together cities from Yonkers, New York to Fresno, California. Johnstown is where Little Joe Regino and Russ Shorto built a local gambling empire on the earnings of factory workers for whom placing a bet on a horse or a game of pool was their best shot at the American dream. This book is indeed a history of one aspect of organized crime, but it is also a riveting immigrant story and, in the words of PW, a deeply moving family saga with equal parts detail and heart. And Devon, I wanted to say that this book is of interest to me because my grandfather was on the other side of the law. He was in local government in a small town on the Mississippi River, and he fought the mob or opposed the mob and had his life threatened several times. So I think I'm interested in reading this book.
Yeah, I was interested in this one because I never thought of or suspected small town mobs, but apparently it's a thing and you're proof.
I guess.
Okay. All right, here's my last new fiction book for the month. I'm super excited for this one, The Witch's Heart. This one is coming out in just a little bit here on February 9th. I shall not try to say the author's name, but it's there for you to write down. So this book is being described as a moving, subversive novel that reimagines Norse mythology, which I know is really big right now with all the Marvel movies. And of course, Neil Gaiman just came out with a new interpretation of Norse mythology, which was really good. This book in particular is supposed to be perfect for anyone who enjoyed Madeline Miller's book Circe, which was really big for the past year or so. So if you like fairy tales or mythology retold, this is a good one for you. In the book, when a witch falls in love with the trickster Loki, she risks the wrath of the gods in this debut novel that reimagines Norse myth. And here's another name I'm going to mix up. Angerboda's story begins with a burning, a punishment from Odin for refusing to give him knowledge of the future, and the fire leaves Angerboda injured and powerless. She flees Asgard until she finds a secluded forest, where she is discovered by a man who reveals himself to be Loki. Despite their arguing and his constant hijinks, she grows to love him, and their union produces 3 children, all with secret identities. But as Angerboda recovers her prophetic powers, she learns that her blissful life, and possibly all of existence, is in danger. This book got starred reviews from Library Journal, Booklist, and Publishers Weekly. Author Margaret George said the book is a journey into the ancient Norse world of gods, monsters, and humans. But the heart of the story is a witch's passage over lifetimes and the sacrifice she makes for those she loves. This is a timeless tale. So I'm very excited for this one. I think everyone likes the character of Loki. So if you want to read a little bit more about him, you can put this book on hold. Here's one from Joy.
I love Norse mythology, so you know I'm going to read that.
Well, I hope you do.
But now for something completely different. How to avoid a climate disaster, the solutions we have and the breakthroughs we need by Bill Gates. Unless you've been comatose or living in a cult for the past 40 years, you know that Bill Gates is the co-founder of Microsoft, a renowned philanthropist, and a very smart, very rich guy who could be playing golf, but instead has spent the last 10 years studying climate change and, not coincidentally, putting his money where his mouth is. Gates believes that we can reduce the 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere annually to 0 by exploiting existing technologies and, quote, working on a local, national, and global level to build the technologies, businesses, and industries needed to avoid the worst impact of climate change. I want to hear more from Bill Gates. After all, he and a few other techno pioneers transformed the way we live once, and who's to say he can't do it again? And thank God we won't have to wait long, because How to Avoid a Climate Disaster will be published on February 16th, just in time for our community read on the 20th, which will feature another book pertaining to climate change, Hope Jaren's The Story of More. So please register and join us via Zoom on the 16th.
Yes, please do join us. Climate change is definitely becoming a more talked about topic. So join us for that and get your name on the list for this Bill Gates book. This sounds pretty good. All right, but that brings us to the end of our episode of new books for February. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget that if you enjoy our show, you should give us some likes and loves and share this video with your friends who also enjoy book reviews. Otherwise, thanks for watching.
See you later, fellow readers.